Robinson. Oh, this will be interesting. Cavani have scored. 6.5 minutes to go. And Kilmarnock, you want to know, have taken the lead at Hampden. This is our pitch. This is Kilmarnock.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Forever and Ever, the Killie Fans podcast. It's episode 6. You're listening to me, Paul Alexander Montgomery, and I'm here in the studio with the one and only Killie, Callum, Michael Scott. How are you this evening, my friend?
I'm good, mate. As always, now into a new routine a bit after post-work.
Monday night, mate. Monday night used to be Monday night wrestling, but it's Monday night podcasting for us.
Monday night wrestling, Monday night football.
Aye. No, it's Monday night podding.
Aye.
Here we are. So we've moved studios after last week. We had a wee experimentation with a wee change, and we're actually in a lovely summer house. And what a lovely night to be in a summer house with the glorious Mediterranean style weather we're having in East Ayrshire tonight. So the surroundings are perfect for episode 6 of Forever and Ever, the Killie Fans podcast. Loads and loads and loads coming up for you this evening. We're going to be talking about our first game of the season up in Fraserburgh. We've got another game on Wednesday night against Thistle. We're going to be talking about. There's obviously still some rumours flying about some incomings and some outgoings. We're going to cover those. We've got an excellent feature. An excellent feature. I'm not even going to cut that out. I don't edit my stuff, mate.
Aye, no,
I give the people raw energy here. I meant to say feature, right? We've got an excellent feature called Would You Rather. I'm going to pose Killie Cal a few Killie related questions. He's got to pick which scenario he would want. We've got the world famous Killie Trust Bingo. All sorts of stuff going on. We've had a very interesting arrival at the club today that we're going to talk about, and an interesting departure as well. So loads and loads to get through, but before any of that stuff, what's been happening with you, man? How are you this evening?
Aye, I'm good, mate.
You happy?
As always, had a cracking weekend there.
You did?
Unfortunately, wasn't at Fraserburgh, but I need to give a shout out. We had, to my very good friend, Mr. Ben Stewart.
Mr. Ben
married
Stewart.
of his life, Ashley. So Ben and Ashley Stewart now, obviously.
Oh, lovely.
Kelly Tartan, obviously, the wee man, wee Harry had Kelly Tartan
Respect,
and everything, and
respect.
it was just, obviously, you were going to be there, but
Yes, wasn't
given
able
that
to in the end.
He's the wedding man, he's a wedding singer.
Hello.
Adam Sandler played him in a film once upon a
That's
time.
right.
So, it was just brilliant. So, unfortunately, I wasn't able to make Fraserburgh because we had other commitments and stuff, but seen enough to go and wait. And good weekend, so Killie win.
Excellent, that's
Victory
it.
Monday
That's all we
and all
asked
the
for.
rest
A
of it.
Killie win, Victory Monday, superb, and congratulations to Ben and Ashley for getting married. Thanks again to every single person for all your correspondence, the messages we're getting on Twitter and on Facebook, and we even had our own inspired thread on the KillieFC.com forums this week with Alan.
That's when you made it.
That's what I feel like I've made it now, man. You've just seen the swagger in me walking in here. Speaking of which, this man next to me here, 3 or 4 weeks ago when we were preparing to do the podcast, he was a man of the people. The text messages I've been getting off this guy tonight. Oh, I need chewing gum tonight. I need water tonight. Is there seagulls near your mum's? I don't like seagulls. A prima donna, this guy, since we went onto YouTube, because we're now on YouTube.
That's what I was just about to come to as well. We are on YouTube. Hopefully, further down the line, we're not quite there yet, but we want to give you some actual video content. But at the moment, we're just the case of putting the audio and giving it to a different audience. So in in regards to numbers, we've done really well. Our estimated audience for the Spotify, Anchor, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, all of that is just over 500. It's like 520 people,
Tremendous.
which is a good estimate. Because that takes out when me and Monty listen to it 12 times.
Well, that's right. My mum obviously listens to it. My nana, all my aunties, they all listen to it 5 or 6 times. But no, that's brilliant. Honestly, we're absolutely buzzing with the response. We're so glad folk are enjoying it. Loads and loads of great correspondence. A big hello to Stuart Boyd, who always gives us plenty of
brilliant.
chat. He was talking about the highs and lows. He had a terrible situation. He was talking about a low being up at Pataudry.
Aye, that was
Kieran Agard playing up front. Awful, mate. Sorry to hear that for you, man.
That day, actually, I missed that because I was doing seeing Man United, right?
Right.
when
Blackburn?
in my youth. No.
No, was that a
I
different
missed
game?
that was Aberdeen as well. Actually, funnily enough,
Right.
the same season.
Right.
But I missed that. That was the one where all the refs came over. Remember, because the refs were on strike.
Oh, aye.
So like that was when I went down to see Man U Blackburn 7-1 Berbatov, and then I missed Pittodrie in the February to go and see Man United v Crawley in the FA Cup. But who was playing for Crawley Town? Willie Gibson.
Wow.
And I
there
remember
you
being
go.
like, what? I was like, that's Willie Gibson.
He
And
used to be
obviously,
playing with Man United.
aye,
yeah.
I can, exactly. It was there my cousin Luke, obviously, I feel like.
Oh, I
Birmingham,
remember Luke, aye.
Broomfield, man. So, but he's obviously no idea about Scottish football. I'm like, that guy just played with Killie, and he's like playing with a non-league team in England.
Huh?
Also, very close to Gary Neville that day.
Right.
But shout out to speaking to him because he looked really crab. I was sat right next to the
Ah.
tunnel and we boys were getting in getting things signed, and I was still a wee boy. I was like 14, 15, but I kind of felt like they looked daft in this. I just left it. Whereas now, given the kind of great man that he is and his good political views and all that, I wish I just went up and was like, right guys, what about a Jeremy Corbyn?
Opportunity missed, man. God, we could have used to in government, but that would have been someone else. So, aye, big thanks to Stuart for getting in touch with that. Robert Scott, fingers, there you go. There's a shout out, mate. He asked for a shout out.
Well, he's already actually had a shout out without Kennan. He's had a shout out.
Oh, has he?
Just two good teams cancelling each other.
Hello to you, my man. He was talking about his highest high was the Falkirk 3-0 in the semi-final up at Fir Park that night. That was great. Thanks to Ali Niven for always kind of retweeting the stuff and saying hello. Taylor Day as well, always commenting and everything. Thank you very much, my man. Lachlan Hyatt, who you'll know from the Killie Standard and loads of bits and bobs with the club. He's always been great in promoting the podcast and saying hello. Big Louis Markham, hello to you, Louis. Thanks very much for all the comments and the feedback. Chris Kimmett put on a really funny story on the Facebook as well about some highs and low stuff, so I appreciate that as well. Big Martin Barkley, who is a famous Ayrshire goalkeeper. Ken Big Barkley?
Aye.
So he says he's really enjoying the podcast, and he had an idea for some stuff going forward. So he's got a bit of the old stadium,
Right.
the girders for where they used to sit. So I think his dad got it and he'd lift it up a bit of the old turf. I think they actually gave it into a pub. But he was talking about the weird Killie stuff that you've got, because I've got that Killie coconut. I don't know where it came from.
What's that again?
Was that the Killie coconut?
Aye.
Did you not see it in the wee studio down the stair?
No.
So I've got this coconut that's been painted and varnished with a Killie badge on it, and I don't know where it came from. But that's what I'm saying. We'll talk about that maybe another time. Maybe somebody could tell you where the Killie coconut came from. I'll put a photo up of it. So we might do that going forward.
Aye, that's a good idea.
Random
aye.
weird Killie stuff that you have. So honestly, thanks so much to everybody for getting in touch. We're blown away by all the comments, all the threads, all the responses. It really means a lot to us, and we're so glad that people are enjoying it. That's what it's all about. An hour a week to give you a bit of entertainment, and there's certainly plenty to talk about as the games come in thick and fast. However, Monday does seem to be the breaking news day. It was the same last week with James Fowler leaving. Chris Burke is back at the club. After us giving him the big spiel 3 or 4 weeks ago, how much we loved him and missed him, he's back. He's taken on the job of reserve team manager, one of the youth team jobs and stuff like that. I think he's going to be assisting with some first team stuff as well. Burkey's back. He's obviously retired for playing, which is sad. But good news for the club to have him back, mate.
No, exactly. Well, before we come to actually Burkey, just given the influence that we've already got here, Kilmarnock, the club of, because they've fit around our schedule.
That's right.
Because we're doing this on a Monday now. They're
course.
just saying, right, we'll put our content out on a Monday and you just
They want to get it
on
to the
Monday
people.
night. So that we need to give them a big thanks for that. But we're over the moon when I seen it the day. And you know that way, actually, I was thinking last week, I mean, what's happening with him? Like,
I
thought,
was expecting it to be something been announced.
honestly thought it was tailor made for him to go to like Queen's Park. We both spoke about it, how we thanked him for everything he done, but you couldn't grudge him for no playing anymore.
Yep.
And there was a wee horrible bit inside me that thought he would maybe sign for Ayr.
Well,
I
I
know.
liked a tweet, an Ayr-related tweet,
I remember seeing that,
and I thought, oh no, don't do it, Burkey.
aye.
So I don't know whether he's maybe the offers haven't come in that he was expecting. I don't know, or he's maybe turned them down, or
It's maybe a case of he's maybe not got exactly what he was looking for, but I'm not going to believe that nobody in that championship would take him.
oh, aye, of course, man, I thought so.
There's no way. And as I said, especially like say Queen's Park and that seemed like a tailor-made move for him. So just delighted to have him back. And as we said at the time, if we can't have him, nobody can.
Aye.
So that's no.
Proper legend, buzzing to have Burkey back. The response across the social media has been obviously overwhelmingly positive about having the man back. Top guy to have around about the club. Loads of players are going to learn from this guy with the career he's had with Killie, but outside of Killie, international, has played loads of games in England and in Europe. So absolutely buzzing to have Chris Burke back at the club. That gets the big thumbs up for us here at the podcast. There's also a departure for the club today, Scott McClymont, who has totally revamped all the media output over the past few seasons. Is moving on to pastures now. He's a big Killie fan. I don't know if he listens to the podcast or no, but I think we can all agree he's done a tremendous job with the club on the social media side of stuff, and will be a loss, I think, on that front.
Well, in prep of us doing the podcast before we recorded, you know, we both kind of put the feelers out to people, and Scott was right away. Obviously, I said about getting him on and stuff, which we still can do, posties, but he was happy to come on in his role as media officer at Killie, and he's always been good with me personally as well. He got me in actually at STV when I was at uni doing work experience and all that, so no, he's a good guy and he'll be sorely missed, but he'll obviously be going on to bigger and better things, and but the club will do well to replace him with
good luck to him. Really nice guy. Actually, this might be an exclusive for the podcast here. So before, in my previous life, you know, before I was a YouTuber, before I was a podcaster, I used to run a Facebook page called the Church of St. Steve Clark. It was me, believe it or not.
It's like McMahon again when he rips off.
It was me, Austin. So it was me that run that page, right? So obviously got quite a lot of shares and likes amongst the Killie fans, which is cool and all that. But then Scott actually messaged me and got me in to have a chat with him and put a bit in the programme about it and stuff like that, which was nice. And I got to kind of have a chat to him that day, and I thought he was dead sound. So
and you obviously remained anonymous.
I remained anonymous through it because I don't do that stuff for the fame, mate. You know.
Just now.
I'm just a normal person. But no, so that was how I managed to kind of meet with Scott, and he was really, really cool and sound guy, and supported the daft Facebook page I was running at the time, which I liked. So thanks very much to him, and good luck to him in his new role. Right, okay, so loads and loads to get through. We're back playing. That's the most important thing. The football team that we're here to support and we're here to talk about had a game. We're going to chat about that next and prepare for the game on Wednesday night against Partick Thistle. We'll be back shortly. Hello everybody, you're listening to episode 6 of Forever and Ever, the Killie Fans podcast. We are officially underway for the new season. We played Fraserburgh in the Premier Sports Cup on Saturday afternoon, a 3-1 win for the boys. Goals coming from Ollie Shaw, Fraser Murray and Kyle Lafferty. Seems like it was a fairly routine win up there. Always these things have maybe get banana skin written on them, but especially with it being early in the season, you would imagine we've got a bit more fitness and stuff. But it seems like it was a decent workout for the boys, for what I've heard.
No, definitely, and you can't underestimate the challenge there. I mean, like Ross County obviously drew with Bucky and beat them in penalties for the bonus point. So no, it's not as easy as that. Of course, I would be. I mean, it would be an uproar if we'd done anything but one up there, but. The main thing that impressed me was the fact that it seemed done and dusted after 15 minutes. I know they'll never tell you that's how it was done, but really, I mean, it's a mountain to climb for them to come back for that. And again, that sticks out is your two strikers scoring. Well, I mean, you can't ask for better than that. Both full play as well. Well, like, no penalties.
Yep. And
Fraser Murray chipping in a set piece as well.
So. Aye, so I think that's really encouraging to see that, and I think that encourages me in particular with Shaw and Murray, because that was two guys I would admittedly say I wasn't totally sold on halfway through last season, but I think they both really improved as the season went on, and I think that's a really good sign that they've started the season with a goal each, and all the reports for what I've read and heard and spoken to people at the game seem like Fraser Murray looked sharp as anything, so I've got a feeling it could be a big season for him.
I really like him. I've always been a big fan of him when he signed, but it was just frustrating, of course. Yeah. I don't think there's been a winger in the world who's not been frustrating
as well, territory, doesn't it?
As well, but I really do like Fraser Murray, and I think that he's got that wee bit extra about him. He can score. I mean, see now, for me, he was my man of the match in that Broth game. I thought he was tremendous that night. I thought just different class, and Gaston making the two saves for him near the end before we went up 2-1. I thought he was really good and kind of showed, like, he dragged us out that a wee bit. I thought he showed a wee bit of impetus that the rest of the team weren't showing in the first half. He came right out the traps in the second. So no, it's a massive season for him. He's got a point to prove. He's obviously been at Hibs and he's done well, but he's not been able to make the solid breakthrough. But I think it'll be something that he's relishing, no doubt.
What do you think's his best position?
I think left wing.
Lefty a 4 or 3?
Aye, well, probably in a front 3 or like if you're playing a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1 on the left there.
Right.
I know he's not doing that now because he's playing wing back, but he actually really impressed me in the Dundee United game he played wing back when they obviously beat us in the Scottish Cup 2-1. And I thought he was brilliant that day. And that was a new role for him at that point, because you're thinking, I don't know if he's got that about him, but we seem to be persisting with the 3 at the back now, so he's obviously got to be playing wing back for the foreseeable, but I think his best position is just flat out left winger.
Aye. So, and it was a set piece goal as well. It scored. Ollie Shaw's dream move to Hartlepool does not seem to have materialised.
I've got it for the boy. When you think of the life-changing money and experience.
Exactly, the opportunity to go and play more than a club down in Hartlepool. So, still with us for the time being, but another goal for him.
What stood out as well is Kyle Lafferty actually scored away from home as well.
Oh, that's quite a rarity, isn't it?
Aye, because I think, if I'm right in saying, it's only Ross County and what his first goal for Killie. Ross County away, they beat us 3-2, and then he scored a hat-trick at Stenhousemuir.
And that's it.
That's his. If he's come back, I don't think he scored away from home.
Oh, that's a good sign as well then. But so good to see Big Lafferty scoring. Ollie Shaw as well getting amongst the goals. Liam Donnelly made his debut. So we didn't quite break the news that he'd signed last Monday night, but it broke kind of overnight. And by the time we'd released the podcast last Tuesday, he had officially signed and he's made his debut. Again, reports kind of that he's going to be a pretty solid, decent signing, wearing the number 22 jersey. Put that in your bank for Killie Trust Bingo someday. Liam Donnelly, 22. Yes. So some movement with incomings and outgoings. There seemed to be. I got a couple of texts today saying there's some activity at Rugby Park. There's a signing going to be announced. It must have been the Burke stuff, I assume.
That's when they had a certain photographer getting in, wasn't it?
There was some chat. So, but I would assume the Jordan Jones stuff isn't going to go away. The rumours are still swirling around that it's going to be confirmed at some point this week. We don't know. Obviously,
right, interesting.
We don't know if it will. But
so, understanding with Jones is that I think there's definite interest for the club.
Right.
But again, I'm not sure. And I thought this was in the narrative for what the media were trying to tell you, because obviously it seemed like we were in pole position, which I think we're interested. Definitely, I think he's probably want to come back. But it was my understanding that Wigan wanted rid of him. So maybe that's a stumbling block in regards to. I mean, they're not happy to just get him on loan. They maybe want him away.
And a pay off and all that
he's still on our contract, so that's maybe what's holding matters up.
Right, okay, so it doesn't seem to go away, and a wee bit like the Zach Kemming thing, there doesn't seem to be smoke without fire. So we'll see what happens with Jordan Jones, and I assume there's going to be more bodies coming in now as things heat up in terms of pre-season being over with now. We're playing these cup games and heading in towards the first game of the season officially against Dundee United. Just on these cup games then, we've got Partick on Wednesday night. I've seen loads of chat about the tickets not selling very well. Understandably, with everything else that's going on financially the now. What's your kind of general vibe on this League Cup then? That's a few seasons now we've been doing it, playing in these kind of this league format. Starts very, very early in the summer. It's obviously good to have real games back. I just can't quite get myself up for it though. That's the way I feel. Even on Wednesday night, I mean, I'm going to go to the game and I'm looking forward to seeing the new players and just watching the team again, because it's been so long since we were there in April. But it just doesn't quite like the fire, doesn't it? It does still feel pre-season-y to me. I don't know if it's just me or you feel the same way.
No, 100%. I think I kind of briefly spoke about it before in one of the earlier podcasts. I think the whole bonus point with the penalty even makes it more.
It's a bit tin potty, isn't it?
Like, instead of just being like, a draw's fine, it's a group.
A
draw's fine. If you want to make games after a draw goes straight to penalties, then they just what I don't know. I think the bonus points just, it's silly for a group format. I just agree with you. I think that it still doesn't. I think that's down to what's happened as well. I mean, Lee Clark came in and just like totally treated it as pre-season.
That's right.
I know they'll never tell you that, and I don't believe for a minute that a football players get into a game know what to win it. Like, that's never the case. But it's big getting minutes under the belt and that, and it shouldn't be. I would just rather they kept it back, and
Aye.
and we just went back to a knockout. Like, to be
Aye,
honest,
I mean, because
even if you had the preliminary like a couple of rounds earlier,
right,
and maybe you did play like a League Cup game before you started a league campaign, but make it worth something.
Aye, well, I think I'd be interested to get everybody's thoughts on that. Whether or not you think the League Cup group stage thing has been a success. Certainly a novelty to begin with, and it's a wee bit better because the draw's been mixed this season, and you've got a wee bit more of an interesting sort of away days and whatever than you were having before, when it seemed to be Clyde and Dumbarton.
Aye, we seem to get them all the time, yeah.
But do you know what? I don't know if this is just the football geek in me here, but I used to like pre-season friendlies. Like, I used to get quite excited if we were playing a team for England or whatever, and I used to like be interested to watch a different team and then watch the boys playing and maybe trying different things out. You feel like you maybe can't try things quite as much. It's like neither the real deal nor a friendly. It's like this weird purgatory in between. So I don't know if I'm a huge fan of it. But we've got Partick Thistle on Wednesday night. It's live on Premier Sports, but it's obviously at Rugby Park. You've got to get yourself down there if you can. Prices are, I think it's £15 to get in, and then it's staggered obviously in the way down for OAPs and under 15s and all that stuff. So I don't know what kind of crowd we'll get. We always seem to put crowds out. I mean, the support. You spoke last week, man, about the season tickets, 4,000 season tickets. Considering how expensive everything is, considering how sort of chaotic things feel like outside the football now, for 4,000 folk to put their hand in their pocket, it's sensational, man.
Unbelievable.
So, like, and obviously we're Killie fans and all, but I've got nothing but respect for the folk that do it every year. They fin the money, man. They're gone without other stuff now to come and support the club. Last year we all did it. We put our hands in our pockets to get us through, and we're back in the Premier League. Because I seen St Mirren tweeting about getting 3,000 and patting themselves in the back. For us to be coming up, it just shows you the size of the support we've got, man. And so I honestly just wanted to big up every single person who's done that, and there'll be plenty of folk wish they could do it and can't for loads of great reasons.
Aye, it's no ever having a go at
No,
folk
no,
can't,
no,
because
even
folk have got
close to it,
totally different circumstances, and there's
Sure.
nothing that annoys me more than folk saying, oh well, folks should just do.
No.
It's not as easy as
It's not
that,
like
and
that.
some folk aren't as, when it comes to it, like I mean, before in my life, I didn't really care. Oh, I was Killie. I mean, like that's why I would pay my sort of the trust in Killie and that, and it's not any Uber fan nonsense. It's like because I had nothing else to worry about, man. Like being at uni and that. That's all I cared about is Killie. So obviously some things have changed now, but for everything that's went and done that, as you said, you've just got to echo the point, and it's unbelievable. But again, to those who can't, there's no shame in it either. Folk will support the clubs in all different ways. There's folk that maybe only get a season ticket, but they'll go and spend a couple of £100 no bother in strips and all
Well,
that.
there
That
you
all
go.
goes
That's
into
it,
it
man.
as well. So
There's loads of different ways to support the club. I've not got my season ticket yet.
I eventually got mine on Sunday.
Oh, did you? Right, so you've
Saturday or
got it.
Sunday eventually.
I had one last season, but I've already got my wee boy the strip. I've got 2 strips for myself. I got one for Father's Day and bought one for myself. I'm going to go hospitality. I'm going to pay in on Wednesday night. So, like, to every single person out there contributing to the club, whatever way you do it, fair play to you, and this is what's keeping the club going. So I just wanted to flag that up on the podcast now. Ahead of Wednesday night, Partick Thistle in the League Cup. Feels like we've played Partick pretty regularly because we were in the Championship there. But that's probably maybe a decent test to see where we're at than playing Fraserburgh, no disrespect to them. So it'll be interesting to see how we line up.
Absolutely. And hopefully maybe then there'll maybe be another signing or two in the door.
That
But
would be
we don't
very
know
helpful.
yet. We don't know, but maybe there'll be something coming out in the next day or two, because there's still plenty of business to be done. But as you said, it'll be interesting to see how the team lines up back at Rugby Park. First game there since our birth, which seems like a lifetime ago now, to be honest. It's given how later the season finishes, because earlier it finishes in the Championship. So no, it'll be interesting, and fingers crossed that we pull out another victory.
Another result. So we'll see how we got on Wednesday night. We'll have a chat about that next week, and then on Saturday we're playing as well. Montrose
Away
on Saturday as well. So there'll be 2 games to chat about, but a good start made. 3-1 win. We'll take that all day long, and we'll see how we do on Wednesday night against Partick Thistle. If you're able to get along, please do. But you know what? If you're not and you want to sit in the house and have a can of beer and watch it with your Killie scarf on your neck, that's fine by me as well. Right, so after the break, we're going to talk about Would You Rather. Okay, would
Nervous
you
for
rather?
this one.
So I've got some wee scenarios here that I'm going to put to you, and you're going to tell me which one you'd rather go for. You ready for it?
Aye.
Alright, after this break. Hello everybody, it's episode 6 of Forever and Ever, the Killie Fans podcast. My name's Paul. I'm here with my good friend and uber Killie fan, Killie Callum Scott. So, we've got a wee idea here. We're going to do Would You Rather, right? So I'm going to give you 2 Killie based scenarios and you need to pick between them.
Right.
And tell me why. So you can play along at home. Play along at home or in the car, however you listen to the podcast. So, we're going to start. We kind of spoke about this a couple of weeks ago and we had to move it because
The amount of stuff
that was coming out last week. So we're going to go for it now, right? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5 scenarios, right? Or 5 choices for you, and you need to pick between the 2, right? So the first one, I'm granting you this wish. You can either have for this season, you can get prime Greg Stewart back or prime Stuart Finlay back. Who are you having?
And it's for this particular
And it's
season.
for this season, right? They're signing next week. You're either getting prime Greg Stewart back, or you're getting Stuart Finlay signing for Oxford apparently.
Aye, God.
I don't want to talk about that. So who are you having? Finlay or Stewart in their prime?
Well,
in this team. Who do you think we need more?
This team factor's interesting. I think
Right.
we're totally crying out for a left side at centre back.
Right.
So that would suggest Finlay. But I think that you've just got to take prime Greg Stewart
Right.
over anything. Aye.
Really?
I think that it was unplayable.
He was
Kelly.
so
It was.
good, wasn't he?
So as much as I actually think that as the team goes, they probably need a Stuart Finlay to balance everything out, and I think would do all right. But I think that Greg Stewart in his prime, Kelly was, as I said, just completely unplayable, and
Sensational, wasn't he?
he gets you, he turns draws into wins,
Aye.
draws and all the rest of it.
Right. So your final answer, you're going to go with prime Greg Stewart over prime Stuart Finlay.
Yes,
Right.
but to be fair, the point I just made at the end there, you could obviously have that for a defender as well, like a defender,
Yep.
making you hard to beat.
Okay.
No concerns
Right.
afterwards.
So let us know what you think then. Who would you rather have this season?
Who would you rather have?
I love Greg Stewart. Probably in my top 3 or 4 players ever. Absolutely, I absolutely loved him. But I agree with you. I think the thought of Finlay playing alongside Ash Taylor would fill me with great confidence going forward. There's no loads of weakness there in that combo.
And it balances
Power,
everything out a wee bit,
pace,
doesn't it?
left
Aye.
side, right side. It's so it'd be a tough one. And I don't know where Stewart would fit in to the system.
I know, but you've
I don't know, but for pure entertainment, I'd probably go with Stewart. But I think Hart would say Stewart, Head would say Finlay.
well, that's
that
a
a
better
fair
answer
enough
than
way?
I gave. Aye, that's a
Put
better
it there.
answer.
Right, okay, right. Next one, you ready? Right, so this season, we win the Scottish Cup and get relegated, or we stay up and finish 6th. Right? So, we get relegated, but we win the Scottish Cup, or no Scottish Cup win, no League Cup, beating the first round and everything, but we finish 6th in the league. What are you having?
Before I would have undoubtedly said to still just stay up because and consolidate ourselves in the division.
Yep.
Because I was proud of that. 28 years. Well, the only real team that done it was in Celtic. Technicality Aberdeen, technicality Motherwell don't count. But we went down in what I call the COVID season as well. I think if we had fans in the ground, we wouldn't have went down.
Right.
So I still think it was a kind of false relegation to some extent.
He's still not over it. He's not buying it. I knew we get relegated that, and you're like, this doesn't count.
Aye. We 100% deserved to go down,
Aye,
and I
we were
called
so
it to
shite.
get down, but I just training
I
ground
hear you.
football.
I hear you, right? So,
But I've never seen Kelly win the Scottish Cup, and the fact that we've already been down, I will go for to win the Scottish Cup.
Win the Scottish.
I will, because in the same way I don't want to be guilty telling an English football jobber who would rather. I mean, let's see. Remember, Wigan won the FA Cup but get relegated.
aye.
But I'm like, they found out. Well, to be fair, they've never bounced back since, have they?
No,
but
no.
well, they've ended up with Jordan Jones just now, desperate for a move to Kelly.
Better than winning the
Aye,
FA Cup having JJ, man.
but you're thinking that's not going to happen to us, or it maybe, well, who knows? But at the end of the day, that moment of them winning the FA Cup will stay with them for the rest of their life, as opposed to. I mean, they already had their years in the Prem. So.
Yep.
So right, I'll go with the Scottish Cup, but before I maybe wouldn't have said that. But of course, we've got to pack silverware. I think you're in any kind of league position.
I don't think you can turn down silverware as a Kelly fan. I would be the same. I would have us win it and get relegated. Right, on that same strand. Now, this one might seem obvious to you, right? But think about it. Just think about it. Kelly win the league or Scotland win the World Cup?
Kelly win the league.
Easy.
Aye.
Right.
Aye. I remember, I think that's a 4, but I'm just like, I'm a proud countryman. You know
Oh
what I
my
mean?
God,
I'm a-
fine, I know, mate.
And I did go to the Scotland games as well, and I have done. I've had my membership for. I was at uni and stuff, and I started going regularly when I was in like 4th year at school. So, but no, I just think that it's going to be Killie. Killie win the league. I think surpasses anything that could ever happen in my life.
You think so?
Aye, without a shadow of
Aye.
a doubt. Aye, I would.
Scotland winning the World Cup.
Nah, Killie win the league.
But think about the quarter final and winning that, the semi final winning that, getting to the final and winning the whole country.
And I get it because we
Unfolding.
even with it.
What was it like? We drew nothing each for England and
I know.
we were drunk for 4 days and all that.
The pyramid was good scenes after that. We had to watch that. Because I was always jealous of the fact that I never got to see Scotland in the way we should have, because like I was 2.5, 3, 98.
Right.
Get what I mean? So I didn't get to see everybody coming together to watch our country in a major tournament and all that. And obviously we got a taste of it last year, but again, COVID Euros, man,
wasn't it right?
So,
Right.
but it was class, and if they coming together and buzzing and blah. But I'm like, nah, for me, Killie win the league every day.
Aye. Can you imagine?
If it meant folks stopped calling Steve Clark and Alki, then I'd maybe take Scotland win the World Cup.
So Killie win the league. Can you imagine? Well, Killie did win the league last year, and it was good enough. I mean, that was a sensational night and a tremendous weekend.
It was more the way we done it.
And the way we done it. But to actually come for nowhere and win the Premier League, you would dine on that for I suppose it's a bit like Leicester, innit? In a lot of ways, the way Leicester have done it. I think the fans, Ben, do you really care anyway when you've seen them win the league? It would be just so incredible that everything else. I felt actually a wee bit like that after we won the League Cup. See, after beating Ayr in a semi-final, then beating an Old Firm team in the final, there was a valve was released in my brain that day that was like, doesn't matter now, mate. Like, look, you've done it. Like it's never going to get any better than that. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But to win the league, to see Killie winning the league would just be incredible, wouldn't it?
And got to put it out there that I was one of the folk. I honestly did think that we could have done it on our Clark.
Right,
honestly,
you actually were going to win
honestly,
the league.
I didn't say we will win the league or anything like that, but I remember just the form we were in at that point. I was like, there is no reason why we can't. The Old Firm couldn't. Like, they really struggled against us, and I know we went to Parkhead to half the league and they spanked us, right? Still stand by variables that day. Everything that could have went
that
wrong.
Didn't count. There was a global pandemic coming up to you.
But I always remember even when they won that night, like, and they totally battered us, man. But it's even everyone just all comes for their first goal, and Forrester's finish is unbelievable. But I still think, man,
I wasn't even in the ground yet, man. I didn't want to.
But I still think, man, seeing you watch it back, and I said at the time, if he gets that cross in there 5-6 times, he doesn't score. Mm-hmm. Just like if he puts that past the post, you ease yourself. You're doing 1-0 or you're not even in the ground.
No, that's right.
What chances are coming back? But I even reinstated to be more when we beat Rangers 2-1 after the winter break, because I remember being like gutted, man. We lost Stuart. I remember coming out the pictures and I seen that.
What were you seeing?
At that moment in time, I can't actually remember what it was. Sorry, I was doing it for my job, and I came out the pictures and I was like, my gracious, you signed for Aberdeen? What? Like, gutted. And then obviously John signed his pre-contract with Rangers, and I was like, where am I? And then we still went out and beat Rangers after that. And I'm thinking, what's got to stop us now? And then, then we just were kind of like minging and get beat for Livingston.
We had a wee wobble, didn't we?
But
I think that I don't know if I ever truly believed that we could win the league, but the night that we went tap, it was Livingston we beat, wasn't it?
Aye.
The night we went tap, and everybody was outside dancing and all that stuff, and I remember getting in the house that night and just couldn't stop looking at the league table, and I don't know if I ever really believed we were going to win the league, but I honestly, hand on heart, I'll take this with me, I'll die on the hill. If Greg Stewart stays, I still think we could have finished second.
I know.
I still think Celtic would have came and won the league. But I think Rangers finished, what did they finish? Something like 8 or 9 points ahead of us, was it, in the end?
I can't.
As many as 10, maybe?
I can't remember exactly how much it was. I know Rangers lost the league by 10 points, I think, or something like that.
And they might have been another 10 or 11 in front of us.
Aye.
I don't know. Maybe a wee bit more than that, but that ballpark. And I just think... But I suppose at the same time then, man, to finish second, and we beat Rangers twice that year.
Aye, and then...
No, 3.
Aye, no, we
beat them twice at Rugby Park.
Beat them twice and drew them twice at Ibrox, but they put us out both cups.
See, well, there you go. So for them not to beat us that season, and them still to finish above us. That's frustrating. But aye, so there you go. So, but anyway, back to the original point. Scotland win the World Cup, or Killie win the league. You're taking Killie win the league.
Aye.
Right. Okay. So here's another one for you. We get the grass pitch back, right? The beautiful grass pitch, or you can get a pint in the grun. What would you have back? Right, so you get the beautiful lush green, no more of this plastic pitch shite folk talk. We're getting the beautiful pitch back, or at half time you can go and get a warm pint of a Carlin for £6.50. What would you rather have?
That's a dilemma.
It's a dilemma, isn't it?
I take the grass pitch.
Take the grass pitch, no pints?
I just think that I'm not even one of these folk that I don't hate the pitch either, but I think everybody's getting themselves on that. Of course, you would rather have a good grass pitch. I do think that, and I've stuck up for the pitch. I don't think it's anywhere near as bad as folk make it out to be. And I think the new generation coming out. I mean, certainly even folk younger than me, all they ken's Astro. We in the Sunday League, we're the only team that play in an Astro, man, because you're better to play better football in it because of the upkeep of the grass pitches. But much more professional level for them. But I think that actually, even though it was well before my time, but even when I watched all Killie stuff my dad put on YouTube, you see the grass pitch, it's unbelievable.
I think that's the main issue I've got with the grass pitch. Obviously all the stuff that gets said about it, but just how good the pitch was.
Aye.
It was
it was the best playing surface in Scotland at one point.
Beautiful pitch, absolutely. I actually played on it when I was about 15, in the Ayrshire Cup final or whatever, and it was just amazing. See just how lush it was and bouncy, and the ball just rolled across it beautifully. So, or a pint in the stadium. But quite often a wee pint would be nice at half time.
It would be, but I think that I'm just conditioned that much to know doing it anyway.
Know you're missing it anyway.
Aye. And the fact that I think sometimes it's a bit of a godsend because, there's their folk that come back feel like away days been absolutely done in, but I always think regardless of where it is, the game always sobers you up now. Anyway.
Aye.
And I think that I would just rather be even for the experience, of course it'd be good to get a pint in the grun, but
grass pitch.
We're there to see the product.
We're there to see the boys, right? So you're going with the grass pitch, right? Final one for you, right?
What about you?
I would go with grass pitch. Aye. I don't drink. Right. Right. This is to see how much a Killie fan you really are, or how selfish you are. Right, you ready? So you go to all the games, every game, like you did just now, but we never ever sell more than 4,000 season tickets. You never ever go to another home game, but we sell 10,000 season tickets every year. What would you pick? You'll never get into a game, right, ever again, but every year we sell 10,000 season and all the success that would come for that, or we only ever sell 4,000 that we sell the new, but you can keep going to the games. What you picking? Come on. Man of the people, let's see. Come on, big man.
Do I still get to watch the games?
How would you watch the games, Callum, other than on an illegal streaming device? Please tell us, we're interested.
Well, on said device.
Right, you can watch the games, aye, but you're never getting to another game. But we're getting 10,000 season ticket holders. Are you having that, or are you keeping it as it is, but you're getting to the games? How selfish are you?
Nah, I've got to do what's best for the club, and I would take the 10,000 season.
Oh, what a man! Would you really?
I would actually. It'd be hard, aye, but I would do it. Aye, I would. Aye.
Your face is not actually happening, by the way. You looked on sad there. So you would let the 10,000 people and the success that would come for that, but you just need to sit with the fire stick and your pint machine and just watch the games at home.
Aye, well, I've not got my pint machine anymore.
What?
Thank Ben Stewart for that.
Where is it?
He robbed me, man, when I was at my financial worst. No, I'm kidding. No, I remember...
Cost of living crisis,
Exactly. No, I gave it to him as an early wedding present. Nah, I was just I wasn't using it, man.
Right.
Because now that the pubs are actually open, I go.
Ah, right, okay.
So I wasn't using it, and I was loaning it out, and I'm like, he's a nominal fee for it.
A nominal fee? Undisclosed?
Aye, so...
Undisclosed transfer? Well, you need to buy it back then if you're letting everybody else.
Aye, and I think Alison would probably take the 10,000 season ticket holders as well.
Right, oh well, there you go then. So you can answer them as well, ladies and gentlemen. What one would you have? Would you rather never go to another game but only sell 4,000 season tickets, or... No, we'll never go to another game but we'll sell 10,000, or you keep going to the games but only sell 4,000? How selfish are you? Do you love yourself or do you love the club? That was just a wee bit of fun there. would you rather stuff. We'll come back to more things like that as the weeks roll on. But we've got plenty to talk about because the season is back up and running. Partick Thistle on Wednesday night. We're looking forward to that, then away to Montrose. But it's all eyes and ears heading towards the first of the season, Flag Day against Dundee United. So not long to go now, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be talking about that on the podcast. Alright, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, it's time for some Killie Trust Bingo. Hello everybody, you're tuned in to Forever and Ever, the Killie Fans podcast. We hope you're enjoying this week's show. We have the world famous, the absolutely incredible, the tense, the exciting, the entertaining Killie Trust Bingo. What a hit this has turned into. We're thinking about franchising it across all the clubs in Europe. We're in talks with several big football clubs at the minute who are interested in the format. So we're hoping that this will become like McDonald's and there'll be a Killie Trust Bingo for every club in the world. So the format is I go back into the squads of Killie history. I pick a season and then I pick 3 squad numbers that Killie Cal has to guess the players who wore those squad numbers for that season. For everyone who gets right, he gets £1 and we give it to the Killie Trust. He's up to £15 already. Although I noticed this 50 pence cash or thing, that's how nature has found a way with it. That wasn't the plan. But we, if you get a clue, you get one for 50 pence.
Yeah,
right?
I think so. Can also suggest the idea to put out to the listeners.
Right.
That actually my good brother Matthew Scott put out.
Right, okay.
In regards to potentially sponsoring the Killie Trust Bingo.
Yes.
Matthew's offered to do that as well.
Right.
As I said, all the money's got to trust. It's not going into the till at the pyramid or
Yep.
Monty's back pocket or all the rest of it. So
that money was just resting in my account.
So I know just Matthew suggested that, and then he said he'd happily sponsor something every week. And then whoever does it will obviously give you the wee shout out. It's
That's right.
And then the day it's a cup of coffee.
That's right. That's what it is.
Go with
So
it?
we'll maybe think about launching that properly. We'll just kind of plant the seed now. So if you want to put the money forward for Killie Trust Bingo, we'll obviously give you a shout out on the Instagram. The Instagram. Maybe we should get an Instagram, the Twitter and the Facebook, and obviously on the podcast. So that's maybe something we'll talk a wee bit more about next week after the idea for Matthew Scott.
A different person every week or something.
That would be nice. But this week we're going to do Killie Trust Bingo from season 2006, 2007. Okay, so right in the heart of the noughties here, the Jeffries era. And the numbers that we're looking for this week, my man, we're looking for number 4, we're looking for number 6, and we're looking for number 22. That's from season 2006, 2007. Over to you, my man. There's £15 in the coffers already. Can we get it up to 18? Over to you. Start with number 4.
David Lally.
First guess, it's David Lilly. We wore number 4 that season for Killie. Full-blooded defender, played at right back or centre half. David Lilly, he was number 4 that year. Right, excellent.
Number 6, Simon Ford.
6 was Simon Ford, another central defender who scored a couple against Ayr in a famous cup game. Good big player, sometimes could be a bomb scare, but we've had a lot worse than Simon Ford over there. So that's 2 for 2 already. You seem quite comfortable tonight. This is
I thought
this
is quite my prime,
this your era?
A freak,
right, you're a total freak, right? And number 22
is hard, but I'm going to guess Peter Leven.
Peter Leven, ladies and gents. 3 for 3, and that was a scoosh tonight.
That is my exact. I think that in the year before.
Is that the one?
I think I would be quite confident in that.
You could rattle the whole squad,
maybe. Maybe that's an idea for one of the other
There you go. So that's 3 for 3 tonight. David Lilly, Simon Ford, and Peter Leven off of the season 2006, 2007. That was the year we got beat in the cup final.
Yes.
5-1 to Hibernian. Horrible. What did you think of Peter Leven as a player?
I really liked him. He was actually got to give Chris Jones a shout out.
Alright.
Jonesy stays in Amsterdam now.
He does, indeed.
He's been given the podcast a listen, and he was mentioning us just saying how much he enjoys it and that. He said an outsider for his 11 was for his underrated 11 was Peter Leven, and I actually considered him myself, but I just couldn't fit him in. And then, but I always thought, again, I was young, I was old enough to know what was going on, but I'm not got a kid on that knew exactly everything. And it was a player I always liked, good left foot, set pieces and that, and I think that I think he was a pretty decent player. He went down and done well in England
He
as
did.
well.
MK Dons, wasn't
MK
it?
Dons, Oxford.
Oxford, we're not talking about Oxford.
Aye.
We're no time for Oxford, man. I'm a Cambridge man all the way.
Well, I remember meeting...
Brandon Honstrup signed for Cambridge.
That's right.
There you go.
Aye.
Anyway, sorry. Aye, so Peter
Then the
Leaven...
yacht race or whatever.
The yacht race,
Aye,
the
so-
boaters. So Peter Leaven was number 22, Simon Ford number 6, and David Lilly number 4 for that season. That completes Killie Trust Bingo for another week, and we'll maybe discuss this idea of getting somebody to sponsor it and gain the money at the trust if you like. I think that could be a decent idea to get people involved. So coming towards the end of yet another podcast, episode 6.
Rolling them out.
We're rolling them out now. We're so glad people are enjoying them. Next week we've got plenty to talk about again. We'll obviously be covering the League Cup games, the first home game back against Partick in depth. We're going to be at that game, and then Montrose on Saturday. There's going to be breaking news. That always seems to be the way on the Monday, so we'll chat about all that as it comes through. Hopefully some new signings. We're going to do a wee feature called I Thought He'd Be Great. We're going to talk about young players that have come through and maybe reached the standard that people were expecting them to. After the chat about Stephen Warnock and stuff, he's the next one. Obviously Charlie MacArthur's left and went to Newcastle. It'll be interesting to see how that develops. So we'll talk a wee bit about young players that have come through and either have or haven't reached their potential over the years. I would also like to talk to you about your routine on a match day, what you like to do, whether it's home or away, pubs you go to, how you prepare in the morning and stuff like that, because I think we're hoping going forward that maybe the podcast will become a part of people's routine, stuff like that. And they can,
Love that. That would be us done our job.
absolutely, so we'll have a chat about that next week as well. But as ever, keep in touch on the Twitter and on the Facebook. We'll be tweeting as we do, retweeting stuff and putting up some ideas for you to chat about from this week's and next week's pod. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back with episode 7 next week. Enjoy the sunshine if you can. Thank you so much. Au revoir.